All right, let me ask you a question. Switch back, and let me ask you a question. What do you guys agree that ends up resulting in you taking the dog with you?
Mr. Brown, at that time, when we got back over to the van, and he says, you know what, why don't you just leave Devin, which is my female, with Scott, and maybe he can ship her back. I was like, absolutely not.
What I just saw, if according to you that
what I just saw, absolutely not. I would not leave my dog with somebody I just saw kick their own dog. So then Mr. Brown said, you can just have it. He can't even do his job. He's no good to me. I can't use him. He can't make me any money. And I was like, fine, we'll take him. And I didn't even contact my husband.
Is it your testimony that he gave you the dog?
Yes, absolutely. That
okay.
is.
Except for that, here's the problem I'm having. There are numerous emails after you at that point discussing a price.
Yes, yes, because when we got back home, he said the price.
He said the price. The price is $0. He gave them to you as
well,
a gift.
yes, and in the email I told him you gave the dog to me, and now you're asking me, because I was still willing to pay. I said, look, the dog still needs surgery. I will give you I can give you the difference of the $2,500 minus whatever the surgery costs. I'll pay you that difference. He said, I'm not letting the dog go for $1,000. Now it went from him saying the dog was a worthless piece of crap to me to now he wanted money for it. I told him, you know, you're trying to rip me off, you're trying to screw me, you gave me the dog anyways. And he, in his email, said I was pissed when I gave you the dog. So
I saw that. Yeah. I read let me just tell you, the only person who's read these emails as carefully as the two of you is me. Okay? That's good or bad, depending on where I am. And you'll see in a moment. There's a series of emails back and forth. On October 5th, which is a day after she leaves, $2,500 for him and all his paperwork. I just had him DNA'd and you keep him. He cannot live the rest of his life in a kennel, though. He is 100% house dog here. I do not want his standard of living to diminish. If you can't agree to this, I will come get him. Or $1,500 for the breeding, and I will come get him in 2 weeks. Please let me know ASAP. I mean, frankly, that doesn't sound like a guy who's kicking the living daylights out of his dog and doesn't care and hands him to you as a gift. But anyway, because that's on October 5th. All right? Then you ask him that same day later on, when will I need to have the $2,500? So it looks like you guys are agreeing that she's going to buy it. We haven't, you know, it's not come to fruition yet. Whatever. I just won't send you any paperwork till it's paid in full. How's it getting along in your house? Everything is fine. October 5th. Okay, he's doing wonderful. He's not had any issues. By the way, did the breeding work at your house?
It did work.
Okay.
It did work. He only produced one puppy, which is usually they
produce
about. Well, when they only produced one puppy together.
They only produced one puppy
together. Usually
what happened to the puppy?
He's at our house. No, he's at our house. Yeah, he's at our house.
So then, now we are at the 7th in the morning, and you say I want to make a reservation for him for Monday. He will need to be at the airport, which was, of course, adding an element to this that wasn't agreed upon, which is she's got to drive the dog to the airport. How far do you live from the airport?
30 minutes.
Okay, so that, okay. I understand what you're saying, blah, 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 but you're still trying to negotiate the price. And then you say, I'm willing to work with you, but I don't want to pay some ridiculous price for the dog that has so many problems. You're trying to negotiate with him, and he sends you the email that made everything shift in the direction of the toilet, which is just send it back. Here are the times, that's it, just send it back. Okay? You're asking him, all right, we'll pay the $2,500. Why is it that you agreed to pay the $2,500 after he said, that's it, I'm not negotiating?
Because I didn't feel comfortable sending this dog back to live the rest of his life out being, I didn't know if this was a one-time thing. I didn't know if this is something he does all the time. I didn't know, and I did not feel comfortable after what I saw to send him back to have to live the rest of his life out like that. He already had the bad leg. He looked like he was emaciated. Do you
have pictures of him?
Yes, I do.
May I see it? So you agree that you'll pay the $2,500, and at 12:03, instead of saying, okay, deal, what he says is, like I said in the email below, just ship him back.
Ma'am?
To which you respond, why are you doing this, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Then at some point you guys have a phone conversation. Are those his ribs?
Yes.
Is that how that dog normally looks, that breed, or no?
No.
With him, yes, ma'am.
With him?
I also have pictures from actually her website of pictures of him, which don't look. He looks great.
What happened in that phone conversation?
Well, I asked for the dog to be. I wanted the dog returned. She said, "There's no way I'm doing that." She called me some names. I said, "Well, I'm gonna be."
Is this where she says you beat the dog and I'm
Yes, ma'am. This is the first time. I said, "Well, I'm gonna be in Texas anyway. I'm gonna come to your house." She said, "No, you're not gonna come to my house. If you come to my house, you're gonna get hurt, and I'm gonna hide the dog from you."
Okay, did you ever tell him he was gonna get hurt?
No, ma'am. What I said exactly word for word was that you can come to my door, but don't think that you're gonna break it down because I will protect my home. That is where my 4 children sleep. Who
said he was gonna break down the door?
No,
Why do you have to say?
because he said he's coming to the house and he's gonna get his dog. He said, I'm coming to the house.
Okay, but it is his dog.
He was cussing at me. He was calling me.
I understand, but now you're ready to pay the $2,500. Before you would see, here's how contracts work. Offer acceptance that turns into a contract. If you're negotiating and you aren't willing to pay the price he wants, you don't have a contract.
Well,
so let's stop. So no, you agree later after he said just send the dog back.
No.
Stop and listen to me.
Okay.
It says we'll pay the $2,500 after he says just send the dog back. I know that hit you like a ton of bricks, but he was within his legal rights. But then what happens? Because it doesn't end there.
No,
There's 17 other permutations, which I will spare you because I think you both know how many back and forths there were. There's a phone call. You say they threatened you. She says they didn't. Blah, 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 blah. There's October 8th, October 9th, there's a bunch of emails back and forth between all of you. At some point in the continuum of life, you guys agree that on the 20th of October, you're going to be in Texas, right? And you're going to pick up the dog. And that the deal is going to be $1,500 stud fee, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But on the 20th, you didn't pick up the dog.
Not after being threatened. I'm not going to her house.
No. Wait, slow your roll. Slow your roll, baby. Because the threatened part, according to your emails, has already happened on October 8th. At 12:25 October 8th, you say there is no way I'm coming to your house after being threatened, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And yet, on October 9th, the next day, at 1:39, you say, I'll meet you on the 20th. So after being threatened and complaining about being threatened and her saying, I didn't threaten you, blah, 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 and you guys are going back and forth, you have now entered into a new agreement. On the 20th, you are not there. Why are you not there?
Because of the threat and
Yeah, but that's not true. Because I know that your email to them to plan to go there was after the threat. So that is not a genuine answer. What really happened? According to her, your wife doesn't want the dog in the house. You're having problems with keeping the dog in the house.
No,
I don't know
stayed
why.
in the house all day long.
Okay.
He was never in a kennel.
All right, so then give me something to hang my hat on why you would be authorized to have a change of heart. Because if by that moment at 2:35 on October 9th, the deal is you get your stud fee and you pick up your dog just like it was at the beginning, then when you choose not to pick up your dog, how is it right that I force her to pay for the dog? And then to make matters worse, what happened in January?
January 16th, Boss passed away.
The dog passed away.
I got nothing after that. Will the plaintiff get $2,500? Judge Millian rules next. Was her Prince Charming?
I proposed to her.
Cheat.